Is this video going to be about how to heal yourself of anger? Or is it going to be about how anger can heal you? We so often ask ourselves, am I good? Am I good? Am I good enough? We try to be good enough. Maybe it's time to consider that we should try to be bad enough. Welcome to the badass universe. So what is anger, really? What are we talking about? What is the anger which is so bad, that has such a feeling of wrongness to it? The anger that we fear, the anger which we must push down, that we must keep repressed and not express until a certain moment it explodes in a random irrational rage, and our mouth goes dry and our body starts to tremble, and it seems that we see ourselves from above and we have the vitality to circle the world 3 times and to rock down the Empire State Building till it crumbles to the floor. Oh, whoops, I shouldn't say that. Okay, wipe that. So what is this anger? This anger that we so much fear, that we push down, that we repress, that we make bad, that we are ashamed of. This anger that after a while that we push it down, push it down, push it down, curdles into depression or backflips into guilt because we feel bad that we feel bad, and we feel angry and we feel unsafe that we're angry. What is this anger? And how do we heal it? And more importantly, how does it heal us? So the first stage in looking at anger is to maybe agree to make an inquiry in the laboratory of experience. Take off the word with all of its negative connotations and just allow the sensations to come forward. Now, what might come forward very quickly is like, no, 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 no. If I let this come forward, I will become violent. I will hurt others. I'll become an aggressive, unpleasant person. I will be negative. I will cause harm. Now, these beliefs are hardwired into this energy of anger, to the extent that when anger shows up, we're already feeling guilty at feeling anger. And when anger shows up, we really already feel afraid that we're feeling anger. And when anger shows up, we already fear the violence which might come forward, the destruction that might move through us. You see this as a contraction, because anger doesn't have to be violent. It's not married to violence. Anger doesn't have to be destructive. It's not married to destruction. It could be quite creative. Anger doesn't have to be harming. It could actually be protective. So this contraction is already showing how deeply we are traumatized around the area of anger. Now, if anger is so condemned, so made bad, when it does show up, fear is also showing up. And when fear is showing up, it's fear of being bad. And if we fear that we are bad in a way, we are affirming our badness, and anger is the sign of our badness. And so we begin to feel unsafe because the demon within us is now threatening to show up in the world, and maybe we might express it. But if you let the expression just be for a moment and allow, in the safety of your own heart, mind, the feeling of anger, what is it really all about? Remember, we're no longer saying anger is speaking out, no longer saying anger is releasing by having a tantrum. We're no longer saying anger has to transform into violence. We're no longer saying anger is murderous or harming or criminal. We're just allowing this anger to be there. Yes, it feels vulnerable, it feels unsafe, and it feels unsafe partly because anger is so much about protection. And if it's not protection in the present moment, it's where we needed protection in the past. This anger came forward as a protective energy. Like in the animal kingdom, the dog barks, and if its boundary is ignored, the dog shows its teeth. And if its boundary is still ignored, then it will put a physical boundary. Only then. It's clear that when we're not allowed to feel angry, we criminalize or make bad the arising of anger in ourselves, we also begin to feel very, very unsafe. We not only feel unsafe in relation to our own natural instincts and our right to put boundaries, to use strength to put boundaries, to use the announcement of our presence to put boundaries. We also feel unsafe in relation to the world because we're not allowed to put boundaries. We're everybody's piece of meat. So we get caught in a horrible spiral where we begin to abuse ourselves in a way by abusing our anger. And we abuse our anger by abusing our goodness. We deny what we're feeling anyway, the anger that we anyway feel, in order to be good, in order to belong, in order to be part of the whole, in order to have a soul. We try and eliminate the anger. And if we're really developed, and we've done a lot of workshops, we try and heal the anger away. Transform it, transmute it. And of course, all of this is jumping the gun by a long way, because anger is an effect. It's a solar flare which is bringing vitality into the system, which is bringing incredible power and direct alignment in terms of clarity of mind when it's allowed to be there. And it's doing this because something has been violated or hurt or trespassed within ourselves, which needs protection. Now, of course, when we explode on random people because in the past 3 generations ago, our grandmother got raped, we have a problem. And that problem is really our problem. And the solution lies in our emotional responsibility, meaning our ability to recognize that this anger is arising like a solar flare, and our ability to respond to that by giving it the first thing which it asks for, which is space. Give it some space. Give the anger some space to go, let it do its thing through the system. Let it discharge the extra voltage. And then, after space, give it some time. And when the calmness comes back from the background, take more time to feel into what was touched inside of us, what area was touched, what area screamed out in pain, what wounded space was activated that created this flare of anger, this protective, aligning flare of anger. What was touched inside ourselves? Because if we don't respect this place where we are wounded, how could we expect anybody else to? So if we disrespect our own natural instinct by trying to heal it away, or deny it, or repress it, or suppress it, if we dishonor our natural instinct between ourselves and ourselves, then we dishonor and deny and blindside that place inside of ourselves which feels dissonant, which feels wounded, which feels exposed. Now, it might be from the past, but it might also be from the present. Why do people stay in abusive relationships? Because they dishonor how much it hurts. Why do we stay inside patterns which are bringing us down? Why do we stay divided? Why do we stay in states of trauma? Why do we continue living half-lives? Partly because we dishonor our anger and we dishonor the pain or the woundedness which is beneath that. And in this, we fail to take responsibility for it, meaning, first of all, to protect it, to create a boundary which has got something to do with consciousness, knowing where we are wounded, to say, I'm hurt here, stop. Give me some space and time with this. So we're learning to honor and respect ourselves, and so often the judgment, the experience of anger being evil or bad or destructive, that these dances together with evil, badness, and destruction, this is interfering with our truly knowing where healing needs to come. So we cannot heal anger without bringing healing to that space which anger is arising from, an instinctive fiber of our being, where the anger is arising as a protection, with all the vitality needed to defend and to protect. So we cannot heal anger without healing this place of pain. Now, healing means making whole. So to make whole, we need to be able to acknowledge when we're angry, obey its immediate command, which is take time, take space, and open up our feeling capacity to go inside once the storm has passed. And we need to honor that place which is wounded, which is also wanting to come back into the consciousness of the whole. What often happens is because we're not allowed to be angry, we blindside the pain. And in blindsiding the pain, we're actually creating more pain and more badness around the anger. So it actually gets worse and worse. So first of all, anger comes forward. Anger means that we're bad because we feel angry. This means we're destructive. It means, let's abbreviate, we're evil because we have this rage moving for us. So we deny that, first of all. We split from ourselves. Up here, we're already splitting from ourselves. And we begin to pretend everything's really okay. I love my job and I obey my boss because that's how reality is. So we're faking it. We're totally removed from our biology, from our physiology, from our naturalness, and from where the learning is happening in this field of pain within ourselves. Secondly, when we deny the anger, we are denying this place of pain, which is asking to be met, to be included, to be part of the whole. Now, this place of pain will be a place where there's been trauma. Trauma means there was a rejection of an area of experience. This pain was invalidated. It didn't matter. And when we deny this pain because we can't feel the anger, we are invalidating the space where we feel invalidated. Or maybe this pain is about being forsaken, being betrayed. And when we deny this energy of being betrayed, of being forsaken, we are actually betraying and forsaking a part of us, a part of our true nature, amplifying the energy of pain again. And when we deny a place, let's say it's a place of abandonment, when we deny it because, oh no, we mustn't be angry, we are now abandoning the abandoned space inside ourselves. And or let's say it's about being rejected, the agony of rejection, when we cannot allow this feeling of rejection, the rejection of it, either by making a big noise with anger and rejecting everybody in sight, or denying that we're angry at all and trying very, very, very hard to please everybody. So all of this movement is in the background, totally blindsiding this pain of rejection and actually rejecting it again, heaping rejection on rejection on rejection on rejection. So anger matters. It brings us into alignment. It creates time and space for ourselves. It brings up a pathway of expression where between ourselves and ourselves, after a while, after the fire show, we can begin to get clarity about what's really essential, what really matters to us, what quality of our soul is feeling too much pain, too much violation in that moment. What adjustment needs to be made at that core level to support this quality of who we really are in being here in freedom? Suddenly we become creative participants of our own universe. And the anger no longer shows up as nastiness, aggression, violence, badness, evil. The anger just shows up as a kind of confidence, an austerity, an alignment, a boundary, strength, determination dedicated to well-being, what feels right in the moment, what feels truthful in the moment, what feels most supportive in the moment to the greatest number. And when we allow ourselves to recall what anger feels like, we can find it's got an intimacy, it's got a friendliness, it's got something of our essence within it. It's very, very, very close to home. It's full of care, the care of wanting it to be well. We get angry because we care. We don't get angry because we don't care. If somebody random in the street comes and curses you, you're like, okay, somebody random in the street. If your dear friend curses you that you care about so much, then the anger comes forward because of this intelligence of care. If we're talking about the intelligence of care, we're talking about the wisdom of compassion. The anger can't be separated from that. And if we move with this, first of all, compassion towards our own needs for space, the compassion can allow a movement of passion in the realignment with the whole. So, if you're interested in exploring more about anger, this is the book, Non-Dual Passion. Passion equals rage, rage equals passion. But here, when you call it passion, it's of service to the whole. When you call it rage, you can go to hell. So get the book. It can make all the difference. The anger in me greets the anger in you.